Welcome in. Hold on. Hold on. Whoa. I just realized. Where is my... Oh, man. Here it is. Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, please make sure to give a thumbs up, drop a comment, and click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. And we are live. Okay, good. Alrighty. There we go, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties. You can see the setup here is a little bit different. I'm working with one screen on my laptop. I still have, the audio should be very good because I have my microphone hooked up, but I am working with one screen and I can see your comments on my iPhone. So welcome in, everyone. Really glad to have everyone here on the live stream. Really looking forward to this part of the day. Man, there are certain things I want to share, but unfortunately I'm going to have to wait to share them with you at a later point. But had a rough part of my afternoon there, so looking forward to doing the live stream today. Let's see who is in the live stream, and today is a TA Q&A. So let's see what TA questions we have. Hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everyone had a really nice Valentine's Day. So I had a pretty nice day myself. Black Oil's in the house. Pump it up. Where's Nick, man? I haven't seen Nick in a while. Pump my bags. Nick, I just tweeted out. I haven't seen Nick in a long time. Jay, Casper. I saw Casper is finally moving today. I saw it back up at 4 cents. So good to see that, right? We can take a look at that. Good morning, DT. Always good to see you, my friend. John, welcome in. Juan, always good to see you as well. Who else do we have in here? Oof! Let's fucking go! We'll definitely take a look at Casper, my friend. Chris, I think you're the XLM guy, right? I need crypto to pump like my colon is about to for my colonoscopy. Check. Oh man, I am really sorry to hear that you're getting a colonoscopy. Oof, man. Well, your day could be a little bit more rough than mine. So, well, we could take a look at XLM. I haven't looked at XLM in a while, so we could certainly take a look at that, Chris. KR, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. Chris Daly, let's fucking go. Dropping them pounds. Literally, man. Literally. Guys, I want to give you a quick update on Bitcoin. Of course, tomorrow, one of the things I was already strategizing today, because we're not doing this today. Today's all about your questions. Feel free to drop them in the comments. I was already strategizing the commentary I wanted to speak to in the markets, which I have some charts kind of off to the right we're not going to get into today. Kind of have something that I'm formulating that I wanted to share with you, but we'll do that tomorrow. But at the moment, what's going on right now is we're still in an uptrend, guys. So again, until proven otherwise, I mean, you can see we're just riding up, right? I mean, I don't know how else to convey this to you. It's like a constant ride up. Now, one of the things I did share with you on the prior live stream, if you were awake at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to join me on Tuesday, on Wednesday, actually. This was yesterday. I had shared with you guys that if we had enough momentum and pushed well past 52,000, it wouldn't surprise me to see 60,000 come pretty quickly. Now, that's not my predominant view. I thought once we got into the $52,000 area, that would be a good spot to have a little bit of a pullback, maybe to 48, 44, kind of have some healthy consolidation and then continue moving up. Right now, the market's not giving you much of a pause. It's not giving you much of a pullback. It's giving you a little bit of a pause. And as I've said before, I believe the narrative has been heavily weighted by people who are calling for levels for prices to pull back to. And I know what that felt like back in 2020. The other thing I was spending some time talking about there is a little bit more, I've noticed, fuel getting put behind the narrative that we could have a top occurring sooner in the market. That kind of aligns with what I've been sharing. And, at first my thought was I don't like to hear that because we don't want to be a part of the herd mentality because the herd mentality is generally wrong. But I actually don't think that that should be surprising. We've been moving at an accelerated rate. There's all sorts of charts people have used out there to compare this cycle to the last cycle. And of course, by cycle, I'm referring to the halving date, since everybody seems to think that things are just tied to the halving date. I think it was just a matter of time based on price action that people would talk about that. So it's not super alarming. The thing we do have to be cognizant of is the narrative, because price will typically do what the fewest expect. So we'll have to kind of consider that as we move along. But right now, things are looking extremely healthy. I don't know how else to paint the picture for you. Now, last thing I wanted to touch on before we get to your TA questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm going to be getting to your TA questions in a brief moment here. But this is the last item I wanted to touch on. Now, when we were live streaming together on Wednesday at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this candlestick here on the 3-day had not printed. This was the candlestick we were waiting for confirmation on to close at or above 70 on the relative strength index. Because like I shared with you on the Sunday live stream, the Super Bowl Sunday live stream, which by the way, props guys, I had a good turnout. On the Super Bowl Sunday live stream, daily, 3-day, week, 2-week, and the monthly to be determined in February. The last time we saw all those charts, all those time frames with relative strength indexes 70 or above was our huge run from 20 into 21. So we got the 3-day, we got the weekly, we got the daily, we got the 2-week. We're waiting for this monthly close that's going to occur in 15 days, depending how you count. So let's all be patient and see what sort of price action we get to close the month out. But things are looking great, guys. Let's get into your TA questions. So I know the first, and I'll get to your comments in a moment, but I know there's 2 questions right off the bat. I want to jump right into things. Casper. So there was a question on Casper. I did see the price up as much as 15% today. Again, price really needs to show me something here. I'm just going to focus on the weekly. We, right now, printed a lower high here, okay, relative to up here. So I'm not personally getting super excited about Casper until this thing starts pushing up above 5 cents. Why do I say 5 cents on Casper? Because this was the last lower high to come in relative to here. So until price starts getting up towards 5 cents and above, I'm not really excited about price action. It's great to see this thing have a little bit of life today, right? Because it's been a really big laggard the past several weeks. I looked in my portfolio. I'm seeing Casper down 0.25%, up 1%, and I'm looking at my other tokens up 5, 6, 7, 8%. So definitely need to see some return price action. You can see we're up 9% today. Need to see some sustained price action today. Let's see where this closes. Now, if we're just looking at immediate price action on Casper, we need to stay above roughly 6 to 7 cents, right? On this daily, the thing you want to focus on today for Casper, you want to focus on how this candlestick, this daily closes. The higher this wick is, the more this candlestick is comprised of a price wick, the more of a short volatile price movement and the more seller exhaustion is being exhibited in today's price action, right? Because the story will be we came all the way up here, we opened here, we went all the way up here, and now we're closing down here, right? We want this candlestick to be as green as possible with as little wick to the upside. But the main thing is we want to close above roughly 3.6 to 3.7 cents. You do not want to see price today close around 3.5 or 3.4 cents. That would be bearish. We need to close above 3.6 to 3.7 cents, and then we can reassess price action in the weeks to come. But this thing just needs to have some continued price movements to the upside above 5 cents. Those would be my comments on Casper. Now, let me get into XLM. I know that Chris is a somewhat frequent of the live stream based on comments, and Chris has hopes that XLM will be going to $100. Of course, there's a lot of delusional people out there in the XRP community that think XRP is going to $100, but I've hit on that in the past. So, of course, this was sort of a fractal chart. I was comparing current price action with what we're seeing here, which pound for pound, it looks very similar, to be honest. This is a weekly view on XLM. You can see right now we're under this prior area of support. Really want to start getting some continued resurgence in price here. You can see the MACD wants to level off. We're slightly below zero, but it's sort of flattening out and wants to begin to curl up. Relative strength index is slightly oversold, just below 50. And the stochastic RSI, we need continued momentum to come up here, which it looks like we're starting to get. This weekly close will be very important for XLM because if we can get a weekly close, I think this is what you need to keep an eye on for XLM. If we can get a weekly close closer to 12 cents, 12 cents and above would be great. Much closer to 12 cents, what's going to happen is this MACD is going to want to completely flatten out and curl back up. Relative strength index will be at about 50. Stochastic RSI should be back above 20, which is what we want to see on price indicators. Then it's just a matter of continued price action, continued momentum to the upside. You can see where our areas of resistance are here. Main one is on the weekly. Look, we're below the 200 simple moving average, which is the pink line on the weekly here. That's roughly 18 cents, okay? There's another area of 19.5 cents. There's a psychological area of resistance at 20 cents. So a main band of resistance on XLM, it's going to be right in this price area here between 18 and 20 cents. Once we start to clear 20 cents, that's when things are going to get really interesting because you really don't have significant resistance. You have some at 30 cents. So you have some up towards 30 to 42 cents. So the point is, once XLM can clear 20 cents, you could have as much as a 50% move to the upside towards 30 cents, okay? 30 to 42 cents is going to be really interesting. And once you clear 42 cents, there isn't a whole ton of price confluence, right? If we just kind of zoom out on the chart, most of the price confluence is under 20 cents, right? Once you clear 20 cents, there's not a lot between 20 and 40. And then once you clear 40 cents, look at there's virtually nothing above 40 cents. So, once you clear 20 cents, we could see as much as a 50% move to the upside on XLM. So that is what I see on XLM. It's kind of riding this 50 simple moving average, just like it did back here. So we'll have to see if we get a similar explosive move up in the weeks to come. What other questions do we have in the comments here? Let's see what else we got. Hope you guys found that helpful. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. DT, when a coin is relatively new without much chart data, how do we start to formulate a sensible price target? Man, that's a good question, DT. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that question before. I love questions like this. So, this is something I have not directly answered because I have not been asked that question before, but it is something I have indirectly spoken to. So let's take a look at Alephium, which I just entered the other day and got in right before the strong surge in price. So one of the things I've communicated to you guys, I have a very smart audience. I say that over and over again, and I don't say things that I don't mean. I have been asked questions on a lot of different charts, and you guys have opened my eyes to a lot of different charts out there. I view our community as a win-win. I'm here to educate you. You're here to share knowledge with me, right? So one of the things that you have exposed me to are charts with limited price data. So with limited price data, one of the things I've commented to you is it's very hard as a technician to begin to formulate anything with a lot of credibility, right? So as a technician, you want as much price data as possible to formulate as credible a conclusion as you can reach, right? So with Bitcoin, we have years and years of price data. With a lot of these newer coins, You got a year, 2 years. It's not a lot of price data. Now, in the case of something like this, the best thing we can do, DT, to directly answer your question, the only thing we can do is go on lower time frames. Okay. Once we start going below 12 hours, it really gets a little. Yeah, but on something like this, you can enter a 4-hour time frame. You can stick up moving averages. I like to use the 10, 20, 50, and 200. So again, to directly answer your question, DT, when there's very limited price data, I like to use moving averages, and I like to go on the lower time frames, anywhere between the 4-hour to 12-hour. If you have to go below the 4-hour, there's just not enough price data there. But you can see with these moving averages, price tends to gravitate to a lot of these colored lines here. So in this case, in the most recent price action for lithium, price has gravitated towards this 50 simple moving average, right? We're also in a somewhat of an ascending triangle, which I'm trying to point out here, that's breaking. So I hope that you found that helpful. That's really the best thing you can do, in my opinion. Yeah, AJ, look, man, if you've been here long enough, I appreciate you calling that out. So far, so good. My relative expectations for this market have been playing out. Let me just pull that out. Now, I will say as I'm pulling up this chart, guys, I'm never going to falsely proclaim to be more accurate than what I am. I have had bad calls and I have had good calls. Any authentic, genuine technical analyst will come out here and say the same thing. There are many value-added technicians in this space whom I respect. They've had bad calls. And by a bad call, I mean a call that went wrong. It doesn't mean that their technical analysis wasn't good. It didn't work out, right? In this case, I put in this relative price action I'm expecting, and I stuck this in here in September. So that would be, 5 months ago I put this in here. And you can see right now, pound for pound, we are literally following this exactly. Now, again, what I'm depicting here, and this was intentional, once we broke 50,000, if you were following my words very carefully, I said it's not that in February I didn't expect that we couldn't hit 50 or 52,000. I just wasn't expecting as early as February we would sustain prices above 50 to 52, right? So anywhere, closing February, anywhere between 48 to 50 would be mega bullish. And then in March, a break up. But it looks like we could be headed for maybe being a week or two of what I expected. So we'll have to see. Now, there's no reason, again, that we couldn't roll over. And if we do roll over, the sensible thing to do is to remember we're still creating these higher highs and higher lows in the market, right? We're still ping-ponging around here and going up. But so far, so good. I think the call that I've been most proud of from a macro perspective are traditional markets, guys. People were screaming from the rooftops in 2022 about this major cataclysmic financial depression correction we were going to get in 23. And as much as I believe that is a potential in the years to come, I didn't see it happening in 23. Look at the stock market. I mean, the stock market is at all new time highs. The S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, it's going to continue that way. We will roll over at some point hard. We're not there yet, though. Just as everybody starts to pile into the market and feel euphoric about things, that is when you need to get extremely greedy with your profits and consider cashing out, in my opinion. Greg Black Oil, always coming in with the super chats, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being an extremely valuable part of the community, man. As I always say, I give you guys the same line. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. So thank you, Greg. Very, very much. Casper? I don't know if that's a question in terms of preference for investment. My investment portfolio would suggest that I have a much higher conviction on Caspa versus Casper. You can tell based on the content that I put out, right? I own Casper. But I own a significantly more amount of Caspa. And it has appreciated tremendously in value since I got in at my average buy point in the 3-cent range. I forget. I calculated it at one point, about 3.5 cents, I think. Do you think that BTC will drop around April halving, especially with investors needing to pay taxes? It's a possibility, my friend. I mean, we'll have to wait until we get further along into April to assess the price action and see how February and March come in. I'm not here to, as much fun as this is to sketch out, the value in my content isn't to tell you what I think Bitcoin will do in March, April, May, and June, specific months, right? The value in the content I'm producing for you guys is to be able to walk away and learn something from an educational standpoint and reading a chart, and to assess in real time what my current, intermediate, and long-term thoughts are on the market based on what I'm seeing. So in terms of pinpointing April, I couldn't tell you with certainty what's going to happen. One of the things we could go back from a seasonality standpoint and take a look at is what price action tends to do, if there's any correlation there in April. I haven't looked at that, but it's something I could take a look at for sure. J.E. Pay Rocks, good to see you, my friend. Tau is a beast. Tau just keeps going, and man, it is, what the hell is it at now? It's got to be close to getting into the top 20, if not. Juan, could you explain from zero the reasons why you think CAS is going to 30 cents? Yeah, it's very simple, my friend. Let's very quickly look at the chart. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because I've spoken ad nauseum about this. So I just want to make sure I'm leaving enough time for everybody else. But I do appreciate the question. So very simply put, there's a bull pennant, okay? So I'm not giving you some sort of emotional, biased view of what I think is going to happen. These are just fundamental principles of technical analysis. This is a bull pull. This is a bull pennant. The breakout occurred here. Now, once we break out from a formation like this, there's two things to comment on here. Number one, there is no certainty in charting, as I always say. There's no reason this has to play out. There's just a higher probability. This is where people get really annoyed that are not numbers people. Nobody can come out and tell you with certainty what's going to happen. Well, what I do is I'm interpreting the data and telling you what is least likely and most likely. Okay, so in this case, based on a bull pennant formation, there's a higher probability we'll see a break to the upside. Done. We got the break to the upside, right? This was the break to the upside. Now, how do we measure the target? The way that we measure the target is we take our pole right here, which I already did. I'm not going to do it again, but this pole, and we overlay it at the point of breakout. Now, just because we broke out from this doesn't mean we go like this. Okay? Just to be clear, it could be like this. But the point is, that's how you get your measured move up. And so you can see, based on the measured move up takes us to just over 30 cents. I'm rounding for purposes of just keeping it stupid simple, right? I don't need to be exact and say, oh, it looks like 31.5 cents. It's 30 cents, all right? I'm just rounding. These things are volatile. Could the initial target be 35 cents or 29 cents? Sure, but it's 30 cents. So that's how I got the target, the initial target. So I feel very confident, especially based on how we've broken out so far. And there's further consolidation. In fact, what you could say, okay, something you could do, this in a 3-day time frame is a bull pennant. We've just broken out, by the way, and we've got another bull pennant. We have a formation within a formation on Caspa. So if we move this out of the way for a moment, is this not a bull pennant? Look, we have a pole and we have a pennant, okay? So we have another bull pennant. You could take this pole and you could overlay it here if we break out and take a measured move and say, well, we'll be above 20 cents, So that's how you do it. It's really that straightforward. I'm not making these things up. It's just based on factual information. Yes, it is quite possible XRP could go to 10,000. Absolutely. They're just going to flip a switch, right? Hey, CBG, can you consider checking on other altcoins like ICP, Rune, or Render? So I will take your first question because I want to leave enough time for everybody else. So, yeah, yes, I'm always open to charting whatever you want, guys. That's the point of this live stream. Like, literally, drop your TA questions in here. That's the whole point of this live stream, guys. I want to chart anything you want me to chart. We can take a look at ICP. Definitely, I'm somewhat familiar with the project. I'm not into the project. I don't own anything. I've never owned anything. This is one of these ones that looked horrendously ugly, okay, and has since broken out. I thought we charted this one, though. I have a pretty good memory with this stuff. There's certain things I have a good memory with and certain things I don't. Numbers I have an awesome memory with. Names, I am horrible. I am so horrible with names. I don't know if anybody here is. Like, I know faces. Like, I know faces. If I see someone, I'm like, I think I've seen that person before. I know that person. But I am so bad with names. You have any idea how many people I talk to in the gym and I don't know their name? What's up, brother? Yo, man, what's up? Oh, I don't know your name. So there's a lot of charts that actually look like this. Now, Flare was actually, to the nth degree, and it's had a huge V-shaped recovery. So it's not Songbird's the same way. So it's not that we can't have a turnaround. In fact, one of the things you want to look to see if we could get a turnaround in a chart like this is bullish divergence. So as price is coming down here, and this is absolutely a rounding bottom, by the way, there's no question about that. But as price is going down, what's the relative strength index doing? So if we kind of come to the chart here, you can see the relative strength index as price was coming down. What was the relative strength index doing? Increasing the whole time. There's your leading indicator to tell you, okay, there is seller exhaustion here. Even though the chart looks ugly, there's seller exhaustion. Now, what do I see from a price data perspective? Let's get off the price indicators. First off, this move right now, what I like to see with it is consolidating. So there's an argument to be made that once we got our breakout here, right now we do have a valid pennant / ascending triangle bull flag, basically. You could draw this a couple different ways. But the whole point is you have a pole, and then you're getting consolidation in here with another potential break to the upside. So the question I'd like to ask myself looking at this chart first, if I were looking to get in here, the first thing I would ask myself is where are there obvious areas of support? And so I like this candle body, wick. I like that. A little bit more aggressive. You could put one just like that. So right around $9.80 to $11 and say 10 cents. Of course, there are lower levels for sure. I love this area right here. There's price confluence because we have two wicks there and we got a couple candle bodies and we have some confluence over there. So this is my main region of support that I want to see hold anywhere between $11.10 to $9 on ICP. I want to see that area hold. Now, again, we could always wick below here, but when I say see an area hold, we could wick all the way down like this, but I want to see the candle bodies close up in this area, okay? Now, in terms of areas of resistance, where are we going to run into problems? Well, you want to look, especially for those wicks. Where are we wicking up to? Because a wick to the upside and coming back down, what that's telling you is there's buyer exhaustion. As the price is moving up, there are sellers in place to bring the price down, right? There aren't enough buyers to supersede the amount of sellers, okay? So our first area is around $14. Next area here looks like it is this high wick here at $16, just over 16, about $16.40. And then once you break $16.40, now that's the nice thing about a waterfall. There's not a ton of price confluence here. When you go down in a straight line on the way up, you can have some fun. There's a line right here at $22.50, $22.60, $22.50. And then I don't see another major area of resistance until around 42. So really, as this thing continues to break to the upside, what you could see once you break 16 is a swift move up to around 22. Once you break 22 with some conviction, there are some other areas of resistance in here. We could go to a more granular level, but I'm not going to for the sake of time. The next major area after 22.60 is roughly 41, $42. So that's what I see on the chart here. Let me try to get to your other questions, guys. I've been trying to keep these live streams to 30, 35 minutes, so we're kind of up against the clock here. Track, good to see you as always. Thank you, CBG. This 5th shot of colon cleaner is for you, brother. Mix some vodka in there. It'll make it go down easier. Rashid, always good to see you, my friend. In regards to DT's great question, can we take a look at the ACH and maybe apply that thinking? Well, Rashid, I'm not following your question actually, my friend, because ACH has a decent amount of price action. Alephium is one where we have limited price action. Alephium has enough, ACH has a decent amount of price action. So we have plenty of price data there to draw areas of price confluence. So, and I've charted ACH a lot, so I'm not sure if you meant another project, but his question wouldn't apply to ACH, my friend. Kyle, welcome in. DT, as I have shared before, I think that Bitcoin dominance, great question. These are my general thoughts for Bitcoin dominance. I think we're going to top up here eventually towards 58%. Could we get as high as, could we wick up to 59 or 50 or 60%? Sure, but 58's my main area before we roll over. That's what I see. Hanky, good to see you, my friend. Let's fucking go. I'll take a look at DXY tomorrow, my friend. Track, can we check out Say? Yes, we can. That might be the last TA question, guys. I want to try, again, trying to keep these live streams 30, 35 minutes. So if I don't have questions to answer, time to answer your TA questions today, make sure to bring them with you on Tuesday next week. Yeah, I'm not going to, unfortunately, have time for all these TA questions. Lots of great questions here, guys. Really do appreciate it. I can't live stream for an hour. Mazda, good to see you. Mazda Dash Cam, good to see you, man. I've seen you in here before. Thank you, Amir. Thank you. I have to actually correct you as much as I appreciate the compliment. I'm not always spot on, but I am correct a lot, but not all the time, my friend. But I do appreciate it. Chris, stop bitching. Stop being a whiner. No complaining. Take your alcohol, my friend. It's good for you. You know, certain alcohols, I don't know if your guys are aware of this, but certain alcohols have botanicals in them. Wine, it has, what is it called? The hell is that called? Wine. It's grapes. It has what is it? Help me out here. It has, I forget what it has. Antioxidants. There's antioxidants. Plus, with wine, you're drinking fruit. Like, how is that not healthy for you? You're drinking grapes. Yeah, Jasmine, I'm glad that I got in that trade thanks to you. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one, my friend. Rashid, I hear you on Alchemy, man, but that's has enough price data, my friend. Alchemy, yep, Alchemy Finance. I wish I could live stream for hours, guys. Believe me, this is best part of my work day, believe it or not. I don't even consider this work. Like, I just enjoy doing this stuff. Let's take one more TA question here, and it is on Say. Now, I forget who reached out to me on this, and it could be let me see who asked this question again. Sorry. See, I'm bad with names. Like, I forget. There's too many damn comments here. I forget who asked the question on Say, to be honest. But there was someone who, maybe the same person who reached out to me on Twitter or on X. The chart was looking sexy AF was my comment. And it sure as hell was. Let's take a look at this. Look at this. So we had charted this. Let's go to wow, look at this thing. Hot damn. You know, props to anyone who got in at 13 cents. Where are we at right now? 93 cents. Son of a bitch. I wasn't in this. Let's actually get off price indicators. This thing has had a monumental move. Now, what's crazy is this is a 3-day chart. Let's go to a 2-day. And I know for a matter of fact, when we charted this, and I'll tell you how I know why, or why I know this. When we charted this, price was in this area between 14.6 and 17 cents. And the reason I know that is because green is for support and red is for resistance, okay? And as you can clearly see, I have a red line of resistance at 17.2 cents. So chances are I was charting this right in this area here between November. This was probably the time after my surgery. I tried coming back to the live stream and then ran into post-surgical complications and had to call it quits again for temporarily. So right after I left the live streaming again, we took off hard. Look at this thing. I mean, this has been an absolute beast. So let me chart out what I see in terms of areas of price confluence. By the way, if you're still on as I'm charting this out, did want to reiterate my DM to you, just so you can hear it from me vocally. I do appreciate reaching out, and I do plan on getting back to you. So just wanted you to hear it verbally. I know I DM'd you back, but I wanted you to hear it from me though. So this is an area of support here, and I would consider this a band of support I'd want to see hold. In fact, as we've continued, now the beautiful thing is, as we've continued to stair step up, it does create a decent amount of price confluence, even though this has been somewhat of a parabolic run here. So there's a whole bunch of support in here that we have right now, okay? Anywhere between 60 cents down to 45. So we could still, not saying this is going to happen, we could still roll all the way over down to here, and I could care less from a TA perspective, because you're still ping-ponging around creating the higher highs and higher lows, right? So let's maintain price levels on, say, above 45 cents. So anywhere between 45 to 60 cents, essentially. Now, this was an area of resistance, but we are breaking through, and I'm going to change this to green. So in terms of, and that area is at 78 cents. In terms of what's next, well, we've doubled. Look at that. I mean, tell me that TA doesn't work. The price here is a high of $1, and here we hit a high of essentially $1. And if you've been on these live streams enough and you've listened to a lot of the educational verbiage, question, what is $1? $1 is a psychological level, just like $100 or $10, right? So once we break through $1 with some conviction, I mean, the sky is literally the limit. I can't tell you how high this thing's going to go. You keep going and going and going. We are in price discovery right now. So very, very, very bullish chart. Anything alarming on the relative strength index that we should keep an eye? I love to see the MACD cross back up on the 2-day, by the way. Anything on the RSI? Now, a little concerning. Relative strength index, you know, it is lower down here relative to some of the movements up here. Something to keep an eye on. Not a reason necessarily not to jump in here, or on a small pullback not to jump in, but it is something to keep an eye on. Stochastic RSI looks great. MACD looks real healthy, guys. All right, that is going to do it for today, and I really wanted to say thank you so much for all of the questions. So many good questions that I couldn't answer them all today. So I'm anticipating some really good price movements coming into the market over the coming weeks. So one of the things you want to do, make sure you click all notifications, because what you will find as we continue to pump this year towards new all-time highs, which I believe are going to happen a lot sooner than people think, there will be a lot of exciting Sundays for weekly closes when I typically don't live stream, that I will live stream, because there will be fundamentally important updates on the markets. Something else I wanted to bring to your attention, I do have a meeting with a certain someone tomorrow to bring back onto the live stream, so be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited to announce somebody returning back to the live stream to share their thoughts on the market. We had a great live stream the last time he was on, so getting together tomorrow with him to work out timing on that. So I'm really, really excited about that. And for the questions that I didn't have time to answer, make sure to come back on Tuesday of next week. Bring your questions with you, and I will get to them hopefully in that live stream as well. So until next time, everybody, thank you for the engagement. Let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everyone.